Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal and today we're beginning a new segment as promised. I'm going to talk about grammar. We are going to cover grammar and vocabulary in the videos that are to come alongside the literature videos that I'm doing. So here we are going to cover idioms today, 20 idioms. The thing about grammar and vocabulary is that you have to understand that it's nothing to mug up. Grammar and vocabulary is to be processed as you progress through practice. Okay, grammar and vocabulary is nothing to mug up. There are rules and regulations in grammar that we have to follow and we have to remember, but generally when it comes to idioms and vocabulary and synonyms and antonyms, we have to understand them rather than mug them up. There's no way that you can improve vocabulary by mugging them up. Vocabulary depends on your understanding. So like my all my literature videos, this is what I've done. I've done everything in detail. I've never done anything that involves mugging up. I have explain things in details, their backgrounds, their understanding. If there's any fact check that we have to do, we do that repeatedly so that the concept stays cemented in the head, right? So today we're going to do the same for idioms as well. These idioms are nothing that you have to mug up. These are some things that you have to understand. Once you understand, you'll never forget them. And also you have to remember that idioms have a background. You have to understand where they have come from, why they are used, how did they come to be, from where did these idioms take birth. We have to understand that. It's not like you read a word and read the meaning, read the word and read the meaning and mug it up. That's just going to confuse us because there's so many idioms that we have to cover. So here we are going to do the idioms that have featured in competitive exams. We are going to look at all of them in detail and we are going to better our understanding. Vocabulary is a skill and that's what we are going to harness. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first idiom that we're going to concern ourselves with is this one. A bad hair day. Now I'm starting with the easy ones, okay? So a bad hair day, what will it mean? What does it mean? Suppose you're sitting in an examination, you've never heard of this idiom and you just have to understand or figure out what the meaning is. You're given options, but you've never heard of this idiom. You just have sat in the exam, first time you've seen this idiom and you have to guess, or how will you guess what does it mean? Now just close your eyes, okay, and imagine a bad hair day. Imagine, you woke up in the morning and you saw that your hair is all frizzy. And then you go and shampoo and condition, thinking that your hair will be smoother. But when you come out, it's still the same. It's not smooth. Your hair is just not settling down. Then you're getting late for work, so you go out of the house, and then because of the dust and pollution and the sunlight and heat and everything, your hair starts getting frizzier. And then you realize that there are tangles also. 1-2 tangles have formed in the hair, but you're too busy. You go for work. At the end, when you come back home, you realize that your hair has many tangles, and no matter what you try oiling, you try, shampooing again and conditioning again, it's not just settling down. It's just not settling down. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take a comb. You'll take a comb and you'll start brushing your hair, right? You brush your hair, and you just realize that the tangles are not untangling. They're not detangling. They're not, coming back into place anymore. So you get frustrated and you're like, I have had a bad hair day. Now, this is just an example. What I'm trying to say is, one after the other in the morning, you've had problems, right? Shampoo didn't work. Conditioner did not work. You went to office, more tangles formed. Came back home, tried combing. It just got worse and worse. Nothing was working for you. So technically, you had one problem after another. Okay, in the whole course of the day, you had one problem after another. And your hair was not smooth anymore. By the end of the day, it became more tangled. So your problems did not solve. Your problems were just accumulating and piling up. So you close your eyes, and you just imagine that, you've had a very bad hair day, that your hair was just not settling down. So in that context, what does this idiom mean? This idiom means a day on which everything seems to go wrong. So suppose in the morning you woke up, coffee fell down on your white shirt and oh my God, you can't go to office now. You just open your shirt, put on another one. You want to iron, but there's no electricity. You go to office, your presentation is due. You did not finish your work. You come back home and you realize that, you have nothing to eat. You forgot to buy grocery, and then you have to rush to the grocery shop and find that the grocery shop has closed. So you're just having one a problem after another. So it's a day when everything seems to go wrong. So this is a bad hair day, that you just don't solve your problems keep piling up. So I hope this is clear now. This is very, very easy. A very bad hair day means a day on which everything seems to go wrong. Now we're going to go to the next one. The next idiom is a bad patch. So a bad, you know what bad means? If I say a rough patch, you know what rough means? Bad means negative, right? It's not a good patch. So you have to understand, if you don't know what this idiom means, you have to understand the word patch first. You don't know the idiom. Suppose you've never heard of this idiom. So how will you figure out what does it mean? In our day-to-day life, do you know what patch means? We all know what patch means, right? There are two word meanings to the word patch. Patch has two word meanings, okay? Two meanings, and we're going to look at them first. So the first word, okay, the first meaning of patch, a piece of cloth or other material used to mend or strengthen a torn or weak point. Torn or weak point. Now see, I can give you many examples of a patch. So this is just for the sake of example so that you understand, okay? A patch, what does it mean? Suppose you have a cut in your hand and then you put band-aid, right? That's also patch. Okay, it's a tear in your skin. So you put that patch so that it heals, right? So it's a patch, a piece of cloth or other material used to mend or strengthen a torn or weak point. Now, you see some of our plants, right? They go through wear and tear. Recently, I think because of the wind also, some of my plants, in the terrace, some of my plants also, they had broken their stems. Okay, they had broken stems because the wind was too harsh. So what my dad did was he took a piece of rope and cloth, and he mended. He put the two stems together and then he mended it so that, the plant revives. So the plant, survives. So, what is he doing? That's a patch. He's adding a patch so that he can strengthen a torn or weak point. Similarly, when you go through when one goes through eye operation, okay, and I've seen this, my aunt has also gone through eye operations or operation twice. So I have seen that they put an eye patch. They say an eye patch. Even pirates have eye patch. A eye patch, you cover one of the eye that was operated on, or maybe a eye that was, injured. You cover it with a patch. Why? For protection, so that it heals faster. Okay. So anything that is used to mend, okay, or any piece of cloth or material that is used to mend or heal something is known as a patch. This is one meaning of a patch. Second meaning of a patch is, say, a farmland. Okay, a patch is a small piece of ground, especially one used for gardening. So I'm pretty sure most of us have heard of a pumpkin patch where pumpkins are grown. So you can have a potato patch, you can have a tomato patch, you can have a pumpkin patch. This is a piece of land where a particular crop is grown, or you're gardening, in your home also, you have a small area where you garden. That's also a patch. So a patch is like, you can equate it with an area of farmland, okay? So a bad patch. A good patch is all of this. A good patch is when you used to heal, when you used to mend, and where crops are being grown, there's abundance of crops. It's a good patch, okay? A bad patch is then what? The idiom, a bad patch means that healing process is not smooth anymore. That you're using the patch, like instead of that eye patch, instead of healing, there's an infection there. In the band-aid you've put on your hand to heal your skin, you just pull it out and it hurts even more. So it's a bad patch. Pumpkin patch, potato patch, tomato patch, the harvest is bad. The pumpkins are all rotten. So it's a bad patch. It's a bad area of land. So it's something negative. You understand? Something negative. A good patch is something else. A bad patch is negative, right? So a bad patch is a period of difficulty. A piece of cloth in a small area, right, which is helping you to heal. But you just pull the band-aid off and it hurts. So it's something negative, right? So it's a small piece of thing that is negative. It is not positive. So it is a period of difficulty. Even a bad patch in that a big piece of farmland, somewhere they're potatoes, somewhere they're tomatoes, somewhere they're pumpkins are rotting. So that little piece of land, it's rotting. The harvest is bad. So a bad patch is a period of difficulty. It will not last forever. It does not last forever. That pumpkin patch also will be cleared and you'll heal again. This band-aid also that you ripped off, you can put another one to heal, right? So it's just a period, a moment of difficulty. So a bad patch, if you say my relationship went through a rough patch, that means, or recently you and your brother or your sister have fought. Okay, you have fought with your sibling and you have not spoken to each other for 1 week. You did not speak to your sibling for a week. That means, what does it mean? That your relationship has gone through a rough patch. That for 1 week you did not talk, but now you're talking again. So that period of difficulty, okay? So this is a bad patch. I think that this is very crystal clear now. We are going to talk about the next one, a bed of roses. A bed of roses, okay? You have to understand that flower beds, okay? Flower beds are different. It's not your... you can say that it's your physical bed, right? The bed on which we sleep in. But flower beds are different, okay? A flower bed is a ground on which flowers are growing. Like, it can be a meadow also. A flower bed is like, suppose you have a piece of ground and there are lots of flowers growing on it. Now imagine, you just... how will I say, bifurcate your thought, okay? One side you have a flower bed where flowers are growing, okay? Or you have a physical bed where we sleep, right? We have a physical bed on which there are flowers, okay? On the other hand, you imagine that there's a bed, there's a piece of ground where cactus are growing, or you imagine that there's a bed where we sleep on which cactus are kept. Now imagine, on this bed, on this flower bed and cactus bed, you're falling down. You go back and you fall down. What will hurt? Which one will hurt? A flower bed will hurt or a cactus bed will hurt? The flower bed will be pretty much easier. Cactus bed is the one that's going to prick you, right? You're going to get hurt. So it's going to be very difficult for you to rest. It's going to be very difficult for you to sleep. So, you would prefer a flower bed any day on top of over a... cactus bed. You will always prefer a flower bed over a cactus bed. Why? Because a flower bed is relatively easier to relax in, and a cactus bed will hurt you, will prick you, will be very difficult. So what does this idiom mean? A flower bed or a bed of roses means an easy and happy situation. So that therefore, if you have any situation where it's easy, you're just handling, say you have a presentation and you easily gave the presentation and the topic is very easy, you'll say, oh, this presentation will let me be in this presentation is keeping me in a bed of roses. That is, it's very easy for you. You'll handle it very easily. Or this event is manageable. It's like a bed of roses for me. So it's like, an easy and happy situation. So imagine just this, when you don't know idioms, right? I'm saying that you have to understand the context. So if you've not heard of the idioms, you just use a little bit of, imagination, a little bit of, picturesque imagination. That is, you picture these things in your head, you will be able to understand what do they actually mean. Sometimes sentences will be given to you and idioms are used in between the sentences. You can actually pretty much guess the idioms if you use your imagination like this. Now you have a beehive. Now, this is very, very easy. A beehive, a busy place. We all know that bees are very creative. They're very hardworking. Okay, even ants are. Most animals are hardworking and creative. A beehive is, to me, one of the most creative creations, the honeycomb and everything, the hexagonal shapes and everything of the beehive. It takes a lot of hard work. If you watch bees, if you've observed bees, they are busy, okay? It's not like they don't take rest. They do take rest, but they are busy creatures, okay? So that's where the idiom comes from. A beehive, I've just given you characteristics of a beehive, okay? The busy bees build and maintain the nest, construct the hexagonal cells of the comb by secreting wax from their glands in their abdomens, care for their brood laid by the queen, defend the colony, and are responsible for venturing from the nest to gather pollen, nectar, and water. This is the work of a bee. So you see how hardworking they are. They defend the nest, they defend the colony, they defend the queen. They go out for water, nectar, honey. They are searching for food. They secrete wax from their abdomens and they construct the honeycomb. So a lot of work is being done within a beehive. It's a colony, right? So a beehive is a busy place. The idiom comes from, the observance of the busyness of bees. So I think that this is very easy. There's nothing more to explain. And the last one for this slide we are going to do is a big draw. So a huge, we'll all know what does this mean. Okay, a draw. Draw is not drawing, okay? It's not sketching. Draw is like when you draw out. Drawing out is how you pull out something or you attract something towards you. How do you do that? You want to trap a mouse. You want to trap a mouse. Sorry, you want to trap a mouse. And what do? You keep a mouse trap and on it you put cheese, right? We've even watched, if you've watched Cartoon Network and Tom and Jerry, I mean, this is a standard, okay, in most of the things that have been depicted there, that whenever you want Jerry to be lured out, you actually put a trap, okay, a mouse trap, and then you have cheese on it, right? And then, of course, the cartoon goes as how Jerry uses wit to outsmart Tom also, like that. So the thing is, when you want to catch mice or you want to catch a mouse, you keep a trap and you put cheese on it so that the mouse is drawn out. You kind of pull out or extract out the mouse. In that same sense, you draw out, that means you pull out something. So a big draw is to pull or to drag out something, right? So a big draw is like a huge attraction. So for example, you have 10 minutes clearance sale, okay, or you have, say, a mall is giving 70% off, 60% off, and it's drawing a lot of people, okay, for the business. So that's like a pull out. You're pulling or dragging people towards you by giving them what they need. You're actually alluring people, you're attracting people towards you. So a big draw, say there's a carnival going on, there's a a mela, like we say, right? So there's a carnival going on, and the big draw, you're drawing more people towards you for business. It has Ferris wheel is there, you have games, you have shops. This big carnival is drawing people. So this act of drawing people, pulling people, right? Okay, you're pulling people towards yourself. This is what a big draw means. It's a huge attraction. So we're done with this. We're going to move on to the next slide. Now in this slide also we have 5 idioms that we have to handle. Now a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. This is the next one that I'm dealing with. A bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. So what does this mean? That imagine you have a bird in hand, you have a bird in your hand, and in far away on a tree or in a bush you have 2 other birds. Now you have the one in your hand and you look at the other 2 and you're like, no, I want that also. I want those 2 also. You're becoming greedy. You want more. So what you do, you take a risk. You go to catch the other 2 birds and the one in your hand flies away. So, you imagine idioms. These are, again, context you have to understand. You have something with you right now, okay? And you are greedy. You're looking at something more you want. And in the process of getting that, you're letting this one also go. So the idiom is, a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. That means you, at least to have this, you're going to, when you were going to chase after the other 2 birds, the one you had flew away, no? So you don't take that risk. Having something is better than having nothing. Or, you have something, so don't be greedy enough to go again behind something else. You might lose this one also. So I'll just give an example, okay? If you've watched Kaun Banega Crorepati, if you've watched, okay, when they play the games, there's a part where the host asks the contestant that, do you want to play for more money or you want to go home with the money you have? Like, for example, you have 75,000 rupees. Okay, you've gained it through the game. You've played the levels and you've gained 75. You've won 75,000 rupees. The next game that you're going to play is, say, for 90,000 rupees. Okay, 90,000 rupees. You want to play the next game. So the host will ask you, you want to go home with 75,000 rupees or you want to play 90,000? Now you will say, okay, you want more money, and you'll say, okay, I'll play for 90,000. But what happens is, the next question you're unable to answer. You give the wrong answer and you lose the 75,000 also. So you understand what you had in hand, you're losing that also because you want something more. So, you use your brain like that for idioms, okay? So the context you have to understand. What does this mean? A bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. It's better to keep what you have than risk losing it by trying to get something better. I hope that you get this, that you want something better, you want more, and that's why you're just losing everything that you already have, and it's not worth it, no, sometimes. So, it's better to keep what you have, at least to have a bird in your hand, right, rather than chasing after the 2 birds which you might not get also. Like, you have 75,000 rupees with you, you might not get 90,000 because you might give a wrong answer. So it's better to just go home with the 70,000, at least you have something. Right? So it's better to keep what you have than risk losing it by trying to get something better. So I hope this is also clear. Another idiom, okay? A bird's eye view. This is very, very easy. Bird's eye view means what? Imagine you're flying on an airplane, okay? Or imagine you're a bird yourself. You're flying, you have wings, you're flying in the air. Now, the view that you get from on top is an overview, right? Like suppose for me, I'm getting a view of, say, my room right now. This is the view I have. If I'm a bird and I will fly out, I'll get a view of a larger area. I'll get a view of my building. I will get a view of my colony. I will get a view of the flora and fauna around. A bird's eye view is an overview. You're flying over, right? So you have a bigger view. It is bird's eye view is something which we even do when we're doing projects. Like for example, you have a project and sometimes your teacher will say, you're too concise in your thinking. You take a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view means take an overview, take a larger view, take a bigger viewpoint so that your points are clearer. So I'll just explain. It is a view from a high angle. So in life also, okay, my parents also sometimes tell me in certain situations that, don't constrict your view, widen your view. So that's like your bird eye view. It's just an example I'm giving, that imagine right now how small my view is. It's just my room. But a bird's eye view, when I'll fly high up in the sky, I'll get a better view of the whole area that I live in, not just my room. So what does that do? That helps me understand the area better. That helps me understand the structure, the planning of my area better. So in life also, you have to take bird eye view in some situations. A bird eyes view is like you're taking a wider perspective. Sometimes even misunderstandings are sometimes cleared when you take wider perspectives of life. When you take, the wider context, they say, you look at the world in a wider or larger context, that's a bird's eye view. It helps us in problem solving. So, let's read the meaning. A view from a high angle as if seen by a bird in flight, an overall or cursory look at something, an overview look at something. So sometimes, bird's eye view helps us in problem solving particularly. You might have a very narrow view of something. The moment you widen your view and take an overview, a bird's eye view, it also helps in problem solving. So this is a bird's eye view. Next idiom is a blessing in disguise. Now, a blessing in disguise, is something which is positive. You might think it's negative, but actually it is positive. For example, you want to take somebody, okay, God forbid, somebody wants to take a train and you're late to the station, okay, you are late to the station and you are unable to board the train and the train leaves, okay, and you're telling yourself, I had this a train to catch and I'm not being able to go. I missed my train. I'm not being able to journey. And then you find out that the train has had an accident somewhere. Okay. Or maybe the train was, late by 5-6 hours and you would have missed the meeting. The train would be late and it was stuck in a place for 6 hours and you would be late. You would not reach your destination on time. Okay. Anyway, it would have been more tiresome for you. So, it turned out to be that the fact that you missed the train turned out to be a blessing in disguise. First, you thought that it was not a blessing because you missed the train, now you're going to miss the meeting. And next, when you see that it was 6 hours late, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because you took another train or a flight or a car and reached the meeting on time. Okay, so a blessing is disguised is an apparent misfortune. That is, it seems like a misfortune. It seems like, okay, this is not something good, but in the long run, it turns out to be something good. Later, it turns out to be something good. It is a blessing in disguise. Like you don't realize it's a blessing until later, right? So that eventually has good results. A hidden favor. So for example, hidden favor is like what? Suppose you have to pay money somewhere, okay, and you might not have the money as of now, and suddenly you get like a premium, or your premium matures or something like that, or some of your friends give you money. Suppose your friend has taken loan from you long time back, okay, and now you are in need of money, so you're thinking, where do I get the money from? And suddenly on that day only, when you need the money most, you never ask your friend, but your friend on that day only happens to give you back the loan that he had taken from you, happens to give you back the money. So it's like a blessing in disguise. You need the money then and you got it. So it's like a hidden favor. You don't ask for it, but you get it. you know. So this is a blessing in disguise. Now you have a blue-eyed boy. Blue-eyed boy, see, rare colors of the eyes, right? Blue, green, okay, these are rare colors. Black, brown, these are more common colors of the eye colors. So a blue-eyed boy, you know, is someone who we say, right, that you're the apple of my eye, that, you know, you are somebody who I love a lot, okay, apple of my eye. Blue-eyed boy is different. Blue-eyed boy is like somebody who you favor. It can be your son, it can be your student, it can be your teacher, somebody who you give special favors to. So one who is favorite, a person highly regarded by someone and is treated with special favor. So you treat your teachers with special favor, you're highly regarding them, and whatever they ask you to do, you do. So that's like, you know, we all have favorite teachers, we all have favorite students, and you treat them a little specially. We all have people who we treat specially. We even have siblings who we treat specially, you know. So a blue-eyed boy is somebody who is you know, treated specially. This, no, it's not a random idiom, okay. Idiom, it's not like it came out of nowhere. For example, this blue-eyed boy, the whole idiom, it did not come off like one day somebody got up from the bed and he's like, okay, today I'll make this idiom, a blue-eyed boy. No, this idiom was extracted from somewhere, right? This idiom was actually extracted from a novel in 1910, okay. And the person who actually wrote this novel, I forgot his name, I'll just check the name 1 second, okay. I'm not being able, I think it was Woodcraft or PG, PG, I just forgot the name. PG Wodehouse, sorry, PG Wodehouse. Okay, so he is the one who had written. This is an earliest known phrase from 1919. So in the year 1919, he had written a novel and he had used the phrase "a blue-eyed boy," and now we extracted that phrase and we use it in our day-to-day lives. So you have to understand the context. A blue-eyed boy. Why not black-eyed boy? Why not, brown-eyed boy? A blue-eyed boy, someone who's rare, someone who's special, someone who, will attract your regard. Somebody you hold with high regard and you treat them with special favors. So this is a blue-eyed boy. Now you have a bolt from the blue. Bolt from the blue, you know, it's like a lightning bolt, the bolt of lightning. A bolt from the blue. You seldom do not get, you have the, see, when you think about lightning, you do have, lightning does have warnings. Sometimes you have to catch the warnings, you know, that okay, lightning and thunder is going to happen. You take safe shelter, right? But usually, you know, there are many deaths that happen through lightning also, because it's all of a sudden. It just comes down in a second, right? A lightning bolt falls from the sky in a second. You don't have time to react also. So, you know, it's a sudden thing. So a bolt from the blue, that means from nowhere this lightning has struck. That is what a bolt of lightning is like. And, you know, it is sudden. You are not prepared for it. It's like a surprise. So from there, this idiom has been taken. A bolt from the blue, something unexpected and unpleasant. Because a bolt of lightning, if it hits somebody, chances are that person is not going to survive, right? There's so many deaths also that take place through this lightning strikes. So, you know, it's not something positive. When you consider lightning strike or a bolt of lightning, it's usually scary. It's something negative. So even in this idiom also, a bolt of lightning means something unexpected and unpleasant. You get an unpleasant news. You get a surprise. You were not prepared for that news. You were not prepared for that situation. So it's something unexpected. And then an unexpected disaster or calamity. Anything that has to do with this bolt of lightning has to be negative. You have to remember that. So like I said, idioms, you close your eyes and imagine it. You close your eyes and imagine it, and then read the sentence and understand the context, okay? Context in which it has been used, and you'll be able to at least guess what the idiom means, even if you don't know the meaning. So complete surprise. Okay, so this is a bolt from the blue. So these are a few more idioms that we have considered. Now we're going to move on further. Now let's look at this one, a bone of contention. A bone of contention. Bone, okay, let's just take it at face value. Human bone, animal bone, any bone. Okay, it's a bone, literal bone here we are meaning. Of contention. What does contention mean? Contention means like a dispute. Contention means a cause for dispute. Contention means that you and somebody are not on the same page. You and somebody are quarreling. You and somebody are fighting, or you and somebody don't agree with each other. Contention is like that. Okay, that's what it means. A bone of contention. What does a bone of contention mean? This has a source, okay? This has a source. This idiom has a root from where it has been taken. Imagine, have you seen two dogs who fight over a bone. So one dog does not want to give another dog the bone. This dog does not want to give the other one the bone. So both of them, they chew on the bone, they hold on the bone, they bite the bone, and one is pulling this side, one is pulling that side. So it is a dispute, it is a quarrel between the two dogs. None of the dogs want to let it go. They want to fight over that bone. This is the source from which this bone of contention comes. This is the source from which this idiom comes. Bone of contention is, the idiom has been derived from that picture. Imagine, okay, two dogs fighting over one bone. That means there's a problem and none of the dogs want to let it go. There's a problem and none of the people want to let it go. They want to keep fighting over it, like dogs who fight over bones. So a bone of contention, cause of dispute, the cause for quarrel. So the bone of contention, okay, it means the cause. What is the cause? Why are the two dogs fighting? Because of the bone. Why are the two people fighting? Because of the problem. So that problem is the bone of contention. So for example, you have a seat in the bus, I have a seat in the bus. This is just a very cliche example. I'm just giving for clarity, okay? There's a seat in the bus. You fight for the seat, I fight for the seat. What is the bone of contention? What is the problem? What is the cause that we are fighting? What is that bone? What is the bone? What is the problem? It is the seat. So in this case, the bone of contention was the seat of the bus between you and I. Okay. Now, next, let's just say you and I are quarreling over a book. You want the same book, or maybe you and I quarreling over a say dress. It's the last size. Bone of contention is what? The size of the dress. If you get another size, the same dress in another size, there will be no quarrel. You take one, I will take one. But the dress is the last one, last piece. I also want it, you also want it. Now, what is the bone? What is the problem? Why are we in this dispute? Because of the dress. So the bone of contention was the dress. So if you have to use it, say for example in a line, how will you use it? Say you can say that the bone of contention between the two people was the seat of the bus, which none of them wanted to let go. Seat of the bus which none of them wanted to let go. The bone of contention between the two people was the dress, which was of the last size, and none of them wanted to sacrifice one for the other. So all of these this is like, if you understand the concept, you will be able to make up sentences also. So this is a bone of contention. Next, we have a bull in a china shop. This also has a root cause. This also has like a background, okay, to it. Now see, the phrase a bull in a china shop is thought to have originated from real life situations in 17th century London. It's old, okay? It's not new idioms. These are age-old idioms, and it has origins in that time, okay? Now, when cattle would stray into nearby china shops and cause damage, the phrase was first recorded in print in Frederick. Okay, so this is a novel, okay, where this a bull in a china shop featured. Now I'll give you the explanation. A bull in a china shop, no? In old times, now see, we have cities, we have planning, we have, farmlands and animal husbandry, and everything is organized. Now in the 17th century, we were still progressing, right? It was not like today. 17th century, way back, okay, hundreds of years back in the 17th century, what would happen? You would have small china shops. And you know what are china shops? It is crockery sets. Like you have plates and cups and, these are, dinner sets, and all of these things were made of bone china. I also have, I remember there's this dinner set that I own. It's made of bone china, and it's very, very expensive, very, very delicate. And these are very expensive things, okay? These are very delicate things also. My mom got it on her wedding, and we have preserved it, okay? The bone china set. It's of plates, and they're very, very, very pretty, very delicate and very pretty. These are crockery sets. You have plates, cups, saucers, glasses. All of these things are made of bone china. Now you had small shops, no, that used to sell them. You would have a shop set up who used to sell these bone chinas, okay? Crockery sets made of bone chinas, plates and saucers. And then sometimes what happened, you have a shop here, and there would be a herdsman or somebody who would be riding cattle, bulls and cows. They would be riding them home. And sometimes, these bulls and cows, they would crash into the shop. They would crash into the china shop. All plates and everything would break, and then they would just sit there. So you see, like there's a shop, okay, bulls are riding by, and 2 or 3 bulls, they stray, they crash into the shop, and they don't get up, they're just sitting there. So this was this was an occurrence that actually took place, okay, in the 1700s. This used to happen, real life situation it is. And from a distance, suppose you look at that shop, you'll see there's a china shop of all of these beautiful plates and cups and saucers, and in between there's a bull sitting there. There's a bull or a cow sitting there. So out of place, right? A bull does not fit into a china shop, right? It just happened by accident. The bull was not supposed to be there, but the situation was such that the bull crashed into the china shop. So, you see this whole picture. I've given the picture also. Look at the bull and look at the china, the plates and beautiful sets of china, the beautiful sets of china over there are falling and crashing, and the bull is just sitting there. So this bull, it looks out of place, right? It's almost like a funny picture. So, what does this mean? If you know the meaning now, you can guess. An extremely awkward person, clumsy person. So when you say you're a bull in a china shop, that means you don't fit in here. You are awkward. You are in a party and you're just sitting in one corner. You're just standing in one corner. So people will refer to you as a bull in a china shop because you don't fit in there. And clumsy person is also known as a bull in a china shop, because look at the bull. Once the bull crashed into the shops, all the chinas used to fall, and the plates and saucers and cups used to fall and break, right? So an extremely clumsy person is also called a bull in a china shop. So I hope that you understood this. A clumsy person in a delicate situation. This is what is meant by bull in a china shop. These are real life, like I said, idioms. You have to understand the context. If you can just imagine it in your head, the idioms, sometimes you can even guess what they mean, even if you don't have an idea of what they mean. So this is a bull in a china shop. I'm repeating again. There were china shops and bulls used to crash into them, by mistake, obviously, and it was very difficult to remove them from there again. You have to lure them out. So the china cups, plates would break and all of that. That's where the idiom comes from. Frederick Magnat's 1834 novel also, okay, this also, Jacob Faithful has this idiom. They use this idiom for the first time there, a bull in a china shop. So from there the idiom has been extracted. Now we use it for an awkward person, a clumsy person, an awkward person or a clumsy person in a delicate situation. We use this phrase there, a bull in a china shop. So I hope that this is clear now. Now we're going to the next one. A cakewalk. This also is very, very interesting. A cakewalk has its own history also. If you understand the history, you will never forget all of these idioms. So let's look at the history. A cakewalk was the satirical take on the formal ballroom dance of white plantation owners. During slavery, you had white owners, right? These were plantations, slaves used to work in plantations. And then you had, during slavery, you had the white owners. Now, the white owners would throw parties. And for the dance that you perform in parties is ballroom dance, right? This is formal ballroom dances. So the plantation slavery workers would work in the plantations. There was a lot of, inhumane activities and treatment meted out towards the slaves also. So, in this ballroom dance, they would be dancing. And this is a satirical take. A cakewalk is a satirical take. Satirical means that you're meant to pinch. You're meant to taunt the white owners. How would you do it? The dancers would add their own twists to the European couple dance, the Grand March. The couple dance, in Europe, the white people used to dance the Grand March. The name of the dance is known as the Grand March. The slaves would see it, and they were not having a good life, right? They were treated very badly. So the slaves would mock. This would be a satirical take, or this would be a mock. Okay, they would mock the white European dances by adding their traditional dances in the Grand March. Like, for example, you're doing the ballroom dance, okay? And what a slave would do is look at you and then add their traditional mix into the dance, like a fusion kind of a thing. So it was used to actually taunt, or it was used to mock, or it was a satire towards the white European owners. They would do it deliberately. They wanted to do it so that they in the European couple dance, they would use their steps. Now the cakewalk comes here. How they used to make it look easy. it's not easy, the dance that they're doing by using, see, they have by incorporating African dance steps, high kicks and other movements. In the grand march, in the ballroom dance, the slaves would add their mix, mix and masala. They would add their movements, African moves. They would high heels and all of these movements they would add to it, and it became like a fusion kind of a thing, and they used to do it deliberately. Okay, so the dance was a subtle mockery of the white slaveholders' mannered dances. Like, colonialism, imperialism, that's what they did. Psychology was like that we're superior to you. So the grand march would be very poised and very mannered, and the slaves, actually it was kind of a rebellion from their side. They would actually mock the grand march by adding their African moves and everything in it, showing that we can do it all, and making it look easy. Now in like the idea that has progressed from that, a dance that African American slaves performed for their white owners, imitating the walk of the white men, and the winners received cake as a prize. So they would add their high kicks and everything. It started like that, and gradually they would perform for the white owners also. They started it as a mockery, and in times to come they started performing it for their masters also. And whoever won this dance, right, whoever won, okay, they would be given cake as a prize. So the dance came to be known as Cakewalk, okay, or prize walk also, because they would win a prize at the end. So Cakewalk, prize walk, okay. The term cakewalk comes from the idea that the dancers made it look easy even though it wasn't. Of course, any kind of dance, okay, it does involve a lot of physical I wouldn't say labor, but physical toil and turmoil, okay? And then only you can perfect it. Now, this dance was not easy, but the way they did it, made it look easy. And towards the end, they used to win cake. So this is where the word cakewalk comes from. So this is something interesting. If you know the background like that, I think you'll also enjoy idioms, studying idioms. So a cakewalk is something very easy, an easy achievement, or just extremely easy. A cakewalk, okay, an easy achievement, something very easy. Oh, this was cakewalk for me. That is, you did it easily. It comes from that idea that they made the dances look so easy. So I hope that you understand this. I hope that you'll be able to remember this. This is very, very interesting. So a cakewalk, again, is something very easy, an easy achievement, or extremely easy. So if you have to make a sentence of this, what will you say? A sentence would be, the chemistry paper was cakewalk for me because I studied well. So you see, something very easy. You'll get good marks because you studied well for chemistry. So when you saw the question paper, it was easy for you. So this is cakewalk. Now, a burning question. This we've heard in our day-to-day lives. I'm not even going to give you too much of detailed information. This is very easy. An important question, a burning question. Have you seen wildfires? They just burn through the forest, right? A burning question. That means it's in everybody's lips. Everybody is talking about it. It's on everybody's lips. Everybody's talking about it. So an important question, important topic that has been discussed with passion and excitement. Okay, so one question that everybody is talking about, one thing that everybody is asking. So it is a burning question. It's like wildfire, like one tree to the other, one tree to the other. It spreads like wildfire. So a burning question is like that. It's an important question. So an important question that everybody is talking about, okay, that everybody is talking about. A can of worms. Now, this also has a background check. It's a pretty gross one, but it is something that has to do with our day-to-day lives also. In the 1930s, this is the history. The idiom can of worms originated in the 1950s and is based on the idea of worms escaping from a can. So fishermen, now see, we have baits, right? We have so many processed baits also. In cans, you have those frozen worms and all of that, right? So you have that. There was a time, even if you have watched movies from the 2000s also, live worms would be taken for fishing, right? They would tangle the worms in the hook and then they used to go and fish. So, that time you used to get can of worms. In 1930s, we did not get the processed baits. Nowadays, baits as in like, those worms and all we use for fishing. So now we get the processed ones. Sometimes you get frozen ones also. But for example, I remember I had an aquarium at home and we used to get frozen worms for the fishes to eat. Like they were very small processed worms, and they were frozen and you could give it to the thing. But there was a time when to catch fish, you use live worms. like live worms, okay, and used to get them in cans. So the trick was that while opening the cans, no, you have to be very careful. If you cannot open the cans properly, all the worms would come out. Okay, so it was pretty gross at that time, but that's how life was. So you had, like life, we did not progress much in the 1930s like now. We are progressing even today. So we are progressing day by day. So in the 1930s, we did not have processed cans like that, like the ones that we use today by our standards today, I'm saying. In 1930s, we had those live ones. So the moment you open the can, no, the worms would come out. So that's where a can of worms come from. So fishermen would buy cans of live worms for bait, and if the lid was left open, the worms would climb out because they would try to escape. No, they would try to climb out of the cans. Now imagine you left a can at home open, or maybe a little bit of space was there, it was open. You went out for shopping. You come back home and you see that there's a worm all over your shelf. There are worms all over your shelf. So the next thing you have to do is, collect the worms and put them back in, which was another task to do. So, a can of worms, so it's very difficult, no? Like when they spread out, they come out of the can, you have to again put it back into the can. It just gets complicated. So you remember that a can of worms, okay, it means a complicated situation or problem. A complicated situation or problem, okay, that it just becomes a headache to actually clean it up again. So a can of worms, this is the origin, and it means a complicated situation or problem. Now we're going to go on to the last slide. Now we're going to talk about a carrot and stick approach. This is also very widely used and comparatively easy also to understand. Carrot and stick approach, you just see the picture I've shown you. This person is on a donkey and you're showing the donkey a carrot dangling in front. On a stick, you tie a carrot and you dangle it in front of the donkey. Donkey is walking because it's following the carrot. It's looking at the carrot and it's walking to eat it, walking. There's a point in time that the donkey will get tired, right? Because there's a man sitting on him. So he just sits down. The moment he sits down, the man hits him with the stick. There's a stick and a carrot is dangling, right? The moment the donkey sits down, it hits him with the stick and again dangles the carrot in front of him. So what is he doing? He's actually, using the carrot as bait, so that he's using the carrot as bait so that the donkey follows the carrot. He wants the carrot, right? So it's like a reward. He wants that reward and he's going behind the carrot. The moment he sits down, the moment he cannot walk anymore, the person hits him with the stick. Okay, so what is this? Reward and punishment. Reward if you're doing your work, punishment if you're not. So a carrot and stick approach is rewards and punishments that influence someone's behavior. It is done in school also. For example, you get in house, okay, house points. If you do well, you get house points, +5, +10, like that. If you don't do well, you get -5, -10. This is carrot and stick approach. Rewards and punishments to influence your behavior. In school that if you do well in your house projects, you're going to get more marks. You're going to get plus points. Your house is going to win, okay, in the annual program. But if you do not do well, then you'll get minus points. This also So you're behaving accordingly. You're doing it accordingly so that you get rewards, and if you don't do it, then the punishments. So this is what it means. The idiom carrot and stick is a metaphor for a strategy that uses both rewards and punishments to encourage cooperation. This is also done in school, primarily in school, that you give rewards and punishments, incentives, okay? You give rewards and punishments so that you want students to behave in a particular way. You want them to behave well. So, you incorporate this carrot and stick approach. It doesn't mean you have to slap the children or hit the children. No, you just give rewards and punishments so that you can groom them well, so that you can, monitor their behavior. So this is carrot and stick approach. Carrot, a reward or incentive offered for good behavior. Stick, a threat of negative consequences for poor behavior. So for example, you did not do well or you broke a rule in the school. They will say, bring your parents. We have to talk to your parents. That's what? A stick. But suppose you do well. You're given a certificate at the end of the day when you come first in school. That is what? That is a reward. So reward and punishment, carrot and stick approach. Okay, you get carrot and stick approach is particularly used in educational institutions and of course in some professional institutions also. But yeah, when you want to groom somebody, right? When you want to actually, even for kids, like when we raise up kids, that's exactly what we do as parents, no? Like what parents do is if you do well, so you get a chocolate. If you don't do well, then you're going to get scolding. So this is done what? To actually make you behave in a certain type of way. So carrot and stick approach. A change of heart. A change of heart is what? You have a particular feeling, a particular opinion about someone, and in course of time you change it. You say somebody is good, and in times to come you say, oh, this person is not good anymore. You are friends with somebody, in times to come, experiences are such, you say that I don't want to be friends with this person anymore. So you take a decision, okay, that you want to say sell potatoes, and tomorrow you take a decision that no, I will not sell potatoes anymore. So you've had a change of heart. That is, you just have a change of opinion, change of anything it can be. So a change in one's opinion, different opinion about someone or something, change your opinion or the way you feel about something. So today you'll say that I feel that, global warming is a threat, and tomorrow you will go say that I feel global warming, there's no such thing as global warming, or this is just like a very layman's cliche example I'm giving, that you have a particular opinion about something today, tomorrow you're going to change it. So it might be for any reason, it might be for your experiences, it might be because you read something somewhere, all of these things considered, but it just means that you have changed your opinion. Okay, so this is a change of heart. A chip off the old block. A chip off the old block. Chip, what does a chip mean? You have, say, a piece of stone, okay, and when you it just a small chip falls off, a block of the stone falls off. You have like stone and it breaks, right? So you have small piece of stone that falls off. That small piece that has fallen off is still a stone, right? It's part of that bigger stone. That's where the idiom comes from. A chip of the old block. The block of stone, right? The chip, a small piece falls down. It is still part of that block, right? It is still part of that bigger stone. So they are just like one of their parents' character, behavior, resemblance. This is what it means. A chip of the old block. You see the picture I've seen, the old block is the bigger stone or the bigger piece of wood, and then you have a small chip that falls down. So the chip has all the characteristics of the old block. The chip has all the characteristics. It's part of the old block, right? So this is used when we talk about our parents. Like I will have my parents, I will have their characteristics, their traits, their principles. People will say, oh, you are just like your father. Oh, you're just like your mother. You look just like them. You are just like them. Your behavior is just like them. So I am that small piece that has fallen off of the big piece. The big piece are my parents and I'm the small part of it. So I will have the characteristics of my parents, right? I will have the teachings of my parents. I will have the principles that they teach me. I will have the way of life they have given me. I will have the grooming that they have given me. So it's the resemblance. Sometimes it's the look also. Oh, you look just like your father, they'll say. You resemble just like your father and your mother. Okay, you have your mother's eyes. They'll say these kind of things, right? So they are just like one of their parents in character or behavior or resemblance. So this is used when you're talking about children and their parents. Okay, so chip of the old block. Child's play. Child's play is what? Okay, something that is very easy, an extremely simple task or act. Simple task or act. Child's play. Like in nursery, you're giving a child, say, write 1, 2, 3, 4. At this age, for us, writing 1, 2, 3, 4 is relatively easy. We can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 easily. But when we were in class KG and class 1, it was a task, right? Oh my god, 1 to 20, how are we going to even remember? It used to be like that. Tables of 2 to 10. When we were learning it in class 1 and 2, tables of 2 to 10 used to be like, oh my goodness, tables. These are we cannot even remember the timetables properly, okay? But then we cannot even remember the tables. We cannot even remember the tables properly. And now when we think about 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, it seems relatively easy. So when someone says, how much is 2 2s are? I'll be like, 4. It's like child's play. What kind of a question are you asking? It's a very simple task, something that a child can accomplish. Anything that is a child can accomplish, you say it's child's play. So, something that is very easy, a very simple task, something that, it's just like a child. We say that you don't give me a child's work. This is a child's work, so something that is very easy, an extremely simple task or act, that is a child's play. Now we're going to talk about a close shave. Now this also has history linked to it. You see the picture I've included, right? So you have a barber and he's shaving a person's face, right? He's giving a person a shave. You see the tool that he's using, it's not like the razor that is in the markets today. The razor we use today are very safe. Okay, they're engineered in such a way that the razors are safe for use. Now, the person in the picture, he's using a straight razor. I think that's what it's called, a straight razor. No, straight razor is the one that he's using. This is like a blade. This is actually a blade, a sharpened blade. And there was a time in the 1930s that this was used extensively. The barbers would use this razor. Today's razor was not used. Today's razor is engineered for better safety, but this was the razor that was used previously. It's like a blade. You can even see some people still using this razors today. Also in the traditional barber shops, they still use this razor. It's a straight razor. I think I'll just check once. I think this is what it's called, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's a straight razor. Okay, a straight razor. So it is a razor, blade, which is very, very sharp. So this person, just look at him. He's very close to the customer. He's close to the customer and delicately shaving him, right? He's giving him a shave very delicately, because if he is not monitoring it closely, if he does not do it closely and carefully, there's a high chance and high risk of this person getting cut. If the person also during using this straight razor, what happens is it's very risky also, because if the person moves also a little bit, there's a risk of getting cut. So he has to give him a close shave, so that that risk of getting cut is not there. He has to monitor it very closely so that the person does not get hurt. So what does a close shave mean? It means narrow escape from danger. Like, there is a danger that this person will get cut because he's using a straight razor. It's very, very sharp, but he's giving a close shave so that he does not go through that danger. So that, like, the danger is there, but he's avoiding the risk by being careful. So a close shave means a narrow escape from danger. So this is about 20 idioms we did today. I want to stop it here because I think that there's a lot to take in, a lot of interesting facts to also process. So that's why I'm going to stop it here. These are a lot of idioms that we have covered today. So we're going to continue this in our next video. And I really hope that this video has been interesting and helpful for you all. And if it has, then please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel for similar content. If you are about grammar and literature, then this is the place to be. I will continue with my grammar sections and my literature sections simultaneously, and till we meet again, I really hope that you stay healthy and happy. See you in the next one, guys.